Welcome to the Ecom 80/20 podcast, the show for brands looking to compete and win at selling online by building better customer relationships. I'm your host, Isaac Hyman, featured speaker and author of the ultimate e-commerce email and SMS playbook, and founder of Highflyer Digital, the marketing agency for the fastest growing e-commerce brands in the world. On each episode, I reveal, unpack, and demystify the secret strategies that the top 1% use to acquire, convert, and retain customers better. My mission is to help you level the playing field and give you the tools to build more profitable revenue streams for your business. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to the Ecom 80/20 podcast. I'm excited to be here with you. We're all in the mode of Black Friday, holiday season, super excited to start sharing all the tips, tactics, and strategies that the top 1% use. For those that don't know, we already have our e-commerce email and SMS playbook out. We'll invite you to go check it out and go get your copy. It's a thick copy. You can even use it as a paperweight. That's how thick it is. So I invite you to go out and check that out. It'll give you some good, quick holiday strategies. Let me segue into our topic right now. Some quick facts. 74% of buyers are one-time customers. 80% of those one-time buyers were earned with a discount, right? And when you combine paid search, paid social, free shipping, any additional acquisition costs, most brands are looking at a very low profit, very low return customer who may never buy again. That's just terrible. They may never buy again, right? And this is the Ecom 80/20 podcast. We're all talking about how to get that 80% of your revenue to come from 20% of your customers. So I'm joined today with a man who does it really well. He knows the secret of how to discount profitably for the holidays. His name is Oren Charnoff. He is the co-founder and CEO of Fondue, a Shopify app that is helping e-commerce brands grow profitably. At Fondue, Oren and his team built cashback to be a better discount, larger AOV, more profitable on first purchase, greater engagement, and higher LTV, lifetime value. Prior to starting Fondue, Oren was on the founding team at Hanako Ventures, a now $1.5 billion venture fund investing in early growth stage tech companies. Super excited to have you on the podcast, Oren. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you doing now? How amazing is Fondue? And what makes you so passionate about helping brands discount profitably this holiday season?
Totally. So super happy to be here. This is a ton of fun. Great to hang out. This time live with others outside of the Zooms that we've been doing a bunch lately. So quickly on me, spent many years working in venture. My co-founder, William Herland, is, besides having his 2 PhDs, one in machine learning, one in public policy, he's actually started and sold 2 companies before. One of them was in the e-commerce space. He started and sold a brand. And when he got together and humored me and said, let's start a company together, we wanted to solve one of the biggest problems that brands are facing, which is their discount addiction. If brands discount, about 15 to 20% of their sales are typically done at a discount, they're giving away, 10, 20% of their revenue every single time that happens. And that's pure margin. That could be half of their margin. So now as we look at the economy, as brands are super oriented to profit, which they always ought to have been, but today feel that pressure from buyers of brands, investors of brands, lenders into brands. It's no longer the growth story, it's the EBITDA story. We thought this is like a fundamental problem to solve, which is in the pursuit of profitability, brands must rein in their discount addiction. So we've simply recreated a better way to do it, which I'm happy to walk everyone through. But this is like the core of what brands are facing today and are addicted to discounting, especially on Black Friday. And not all discounts are created equal. So happy to walk through what ours is in a bit.
That's amazing. The way I understood it, and I came from the background of e-commerce where a lot of brands are using, beyond just discount codes, they're also using rebates. It seems like Fondue seems to be based around, breaking free of the discount code and making sure that customers give you as much as they can upfront, as they deserve, as any brand wants to see. At the same time, everyone uses discount codes. It's like ubiquitous in the whole field of e-commerce, right? Discount code, you come to our site, boom, here's your 10% off, here's your 50% off. They're easy to understand, instant gratification, pretty simple to set up. Tell me a little bit about why is Fondue a better alternative? How does it work? And why is it a better alternative overall?
Totally, right. So again, like what we're really focused on doing is focusing on the dollar drain of discounting, that margin eater. And our intention is to replace every discount code with a cashback by the delicious folks at Fondue. At a quick high level, like some of the brands who work with us, and we can go through some of the folks who we've been overlapping with your agency. folks that get to enjoy 15% more revenue, but more specifically, 50% less discount costs, and that's pure margin. And the way that it works is through a post-purchase discount. So shoppers purchase knowing that they're eligible post-purchase to digitally and instantly claim their cash back. And this is all redeemed post-purchase. And the shopper gets to choose the incentive that's best for them. Some shoppers may choose nothing, which is super reasonable. That means that they actually didn't need the discount to convert in the first place. Coupon codes can leak all over the internet. Rakuten and Honey, Retail Me Not. And even if it doesn't leak, the level of effort to enjoy that margin is so low that even if you're not price sensitive, you say, what the hell, it's super easy. So the idea is, how can I more efficiently allocate capital to the shoppers who need that price incentive or need a little bit more? They will follow through. They will claim it post-purchase. And then, better yet, they get to choose the discount that's best for them. It could be 10% back as cash or 20% back as site credit. So between some shoppers who simply don't redeem, and of course the many who do as a site credit, we're effectively deflecting 50% of discount costs, which can enable the marketer to double the discount that they're offering to shoppers, thereby bringing in new folks, or not, and just enjoying that extra margin.
That's huge. I think the fact that you're giving brands that extra margin, it probably allows them to compete better with the top players in the world and act as a differentiator for them to acquire new customers. Would you say?
Yeah, and they can also just offer better deals, because if you were doing 10% off before, every single shopper gets to enjoy that discount every time, meaning you're losing 10% margin like every time. Discounts, coupon codes are great technology to make less profit. They will always do that to a brand. In this case, because some shoppers don't claim, and of course many do as a site credit, you can now double the offer that you're providing. You can do 20% back instead of 10% off. That's just a better deal. Now that can help in your email sequence of, if you share your email and SMS with me, we'll give you 20% cash back. That dominates 10% off. So now you have a bigger funnel. And then in that email and SMS sequence, now all of a sudden that call to action, that click-through rate, that open rate, you get to leverage a better deal, but without the economic impact that it can have. And so in that sense, you can compete better against yourself, meaning what you did before. And then certainly if you have great products, you can also now offer great value to the value-oriented shoppers and no longer leak margins to those who just simply don't need it.
That's huge. And specifically, as you're saying, also the acquisition cost you're pushing into getting these people to your site, to getting them to buy for the first time, it probably definitely helps to have that margin. And so along those lines, right, the average email capture rate, it stands, between last stats I saw was about between 2 to 5% of email captures for e-commerce brands. And obviously nowadays brands are focused on capturing the email and SMS for deeper data, first-party data, that type of thing. So historically, how does Fondue increase that capture rate and increase more channel opt-ins from every visitor?
Yeah.
Does that outweigh the discount code? Okay.
Yeah. So firstly, when shoppers engage, like to join that funnel of that pop-up, hey, give me your email and SMS to get some sort of deal, they're seeking value, right? As much as you can optimize the language, the color, and the images, and those are all worthwhile, ultimately, the most important variable is the value that you're offering the shopper. If you can jump from 10 to 20 or 15 to 25 of what you're offering, that will have the biggest impact to folks joining the funnel. So that email and SMS capture rate was directly correlated to the amount of money that you're willing to offer that shopper. So instead of only being able to afford 10% off, now you can profitably offer 20% back as cash or credit. And that number just leads to a bigger funnel. And then how do you activate that funnel? You could work with agencies like over at Highflyer, and they can optimize that, leveraging the tool of cashback so that they can simply offer better numbers. And it's no longer a negotiation between the marketer and the business owner, right? This can optimize both the revenue as well as that profitability.
Which is great for both parties, right? Usually the marketer and the business owner tend to battle internally. How do we acquire more people? I'll give a bigger discount, give this, give that away. And in reality, the business owner says, hey, I got to keep my margins in order to pay you. That's probably a benefit for everyone. Huge.
Yeah.
So With the holidays here right now, I know that the integration for Fondue probably isn't that overwhelming. It's probably pretty seamless if it's a Shopify app. The holidays are here right now, but some brands are also they're willing to try some new tech, while others tend to be a little skittish over risking sales this holiday season, but trying something new and going to a cashback approach versus a discount approach. So what are some of Fondue's holiday strategies that brands will just, stop in their tracks and say, wow, I really got to try this holiday season?
Yeah. So firstly, it's all about building trust. This is a new discount type of which the brands have to develop some confidence around. So while it would be nice to have a button to switch all discounts, all coupon codes over to cashback, we recognize this is just the wrong time of year to be that ambitious. So it's actually really tactical. Shopify brands can install our app, and thereafter, in wherever they have coupon codes marketed, it could be offsite with ads and influencers, on-site with the pop-up cart browser abandonment site-wide sale, or in email and SMS retention marketing, you simply displace and change the language of saying 10% off, and you switch it to 20% back. And instead of a coupon code appearing, you have a cashback UTM. And the easiest place to do this, which is actually the most valuable, is how do you build up that email and SMS subscription list, right? Because that's great reconversion opportunities to go after them with retention marketing. And so you can install our app and then split test the traffic in Klaviyo, in Attentive, in PostScript. Expose half of your shoppers to your previous coupon code offer, and then expose half of them to a cashback. And then inside of those platforms, you can see the A/B testing to see which one leads to a higher capture rate, open rate, click-through rate, and then conversion rate. And then you could use Fondue to measure the profitability of those conversions. And all of this could be done by installing our app, switching some copy, and instead of a coupon code, you have a cashback UTM. If it takes more than 20 minutes to go live, like someone's messing up here.
That's amazing. It's really seamless. You have a good testing period. You can do it really quickly. For the startup brands, I know you guys work with a ton of large brands, but also for the smaller yet scaling brand, seems like you're pretty much, ready to go almost.
The smaller brands are actually able to move faster. The owner operators, the smaller teams, they all have the access to either log in or just add us, or for their agency to jump into the Klaviyo to switch the copy. It's that tactical. There's no technical integration. Shopify app takes care of all of that. It's just creating the cashback UTM and then just putting that wherever the coupon code used to appear. It's extremely tactical. Smaller brands are the fastest ones.
That's amazing. It seems like you could also get up and running pretty quickly in time for Black Friday. I know we're less than 60 days away from Black Friday. You could still get a pretty solid test for incrementality right there.
Yeah, and you want to build up that list towards Black Friday. You want to get as many email and SMS subscribers as possible, right? So it's an awesome time to test it, to see that increase. And then on Black Friday, do whatever campaigns you chose to before. If you want to do cashback, that's awesome. A bunch of brands have displaced all their discounting with us, but we recognize that takes time and trust to build there. So the simple welcome series test is systematic. It's just done in the Klaviyo and Attentives of the world. You can trust their splitting data. And we're happy to move at whatever pace the brands want.
Huge.
And when I say brands, it could be brands or agencies. These are all marketers who optimize for the same thing. So we work with folks like Highflyer or directly with the brands themselves, because you're all optimizing for the same thing, which is economic conversions.
Correct. That's the greatest play. And that actually leads to the next question. I know that, again, our podcast is focused on the Pareto principle. How do we turn those one-time buyers into lifetime buyers using the secret strategies of the top 1%? And that's brought to life by building better customer relationships. And it's amazing how you're saying trust all the time, because that's the key towards building a great relationship. And Fondue seems to fit really, really well with converting those new one-time buyers, those new holiday customers. What applications do you think Fondue can provide for getting repeat customers using that cashback offer? What kind of initiatives and strategies have you done to turn those one-time buyers for the holidays specifically, or even after, into lifetime buyers?
Yeah, so shoppers who are typically one-time buyers, they're shoppers who seek value. These are value-oriented shoppers. They want to go to where the best money opportunity is. It's unfortunately not necessarily the best product, right? So when they follow this, they're looking for the best deal. So instead of 10% off, you get to offer 20% back, right? And then when they're redeeming that 20% back, the most value can be in a juiced up site credit as opposed to taking the discount as cash. So from that sense, what we're seeing is typically about at least 20% of shoppers are taking site credit. That's unbelievable to turn what was otherwise a cash payout into LTV. And then, of course, you have the shoppers who never redeem at all, which is also totally fine. It means they didn't care about the savings. They perhaps just wanted the dopamine hit of savings, but weren't actually economically driven. So even for the experienced, value-oriented shoppers, or the ones who are really looking to optimize for each and every dollar, cashback just provides great economic alternatives. And then, of course, you have a reasonable number of folks just taking cash.
Like I said, that dopamine fix, it's like they get their fix, right? They got something out of the brand, and that's amazing. That's that first kind of like handshake, that virtual handshake right there. Amazing to hear. And I think that overall, it seems like the brands that you also would work really well with are the ones who are retailers who are struggling with MAP and trying to, I wouldn't say get around it. I don't know if you can say that if you're a brand, but they try to figure out ways to offer more value to their customers in ways that can't just discount below a certain threshold for some areas. Have you found success with that?
Yeah, so omni-channel e-commerce is here. I don't know if there was just a tweet, it may have even been today, by a Shopify president who said, in 12 to 18 months, it's no longer going to be called omni-channel, it's just going to be called retail. So if that's the case, MAP compliance really matters. Your retail partner, like a Target, doesn't want to see you having a cheaper product on your website, because then they're paying for that customer education. Cashback drives full price sales, period. It is MAP compliant. Should the shoppers choose to redeem their discount post-purchase, so be it, as part of a cashback. But this is full price sales that are MAP compliant. You're no longer negotiating against your partners like you would be if you were using coupon codes and having to coordinate with Target. Good luck with that.
That's going to be very challenging. Sheer economies of scale right there. So it's funny you mentioned that. We worked together on a couple brands that already implement Fondue, and they love not having to give a discount up front. They love that opportunity to kind of keep all their profit, all their margin, and keep that valuable customer. Why don't you share like a clear-cut case study where a brand has seen really great lift in profitable sales? I know we're maybe not by the holiday season, but just in general, that can give a good idea about what the future holds.
Yes, so we have an overlapping brand who I think we actually brought them to you. We've been exchanging brands for a while now, but they're seeing on their discount side, 35% of their shoppers are taking a site credit as opposed to cash on the payout. And they also have a similar number of shoppers who are simply never claiming their discount. So essentially, this is costing them about 30 cents on the dollar in discount costs compared to the coupon codes that they were doing before. And with that extra margin, they were confident to increase that marketed discount of cashback, which simply leads to more transactions. So they get to enjoy both more revenue, about 15%, as well as a savings of discount costs of 70 cents on the dollar they get to pocket now. So it's amazing.
That's huge to see, and it just trains the customer overall. Don't always look for the discount, right? It's about the value you have. It's just about like saying, we're not here to just give you deals all the time. And trust me, there's a lot of options out there, but just keeps that relationship going from that high level and knowing that we're all here to have some value adds for every single customer and that their products are simply darn spectacular, discount aside.
Yeah. And if they are there for the discount, then they'll take the most value as a site credit.
Right. That's amazing. I'd be curious to see, what's the average, I would say breakage rate on that, redemption rate? Do you have a baseline wherever exactly brands can expect to see, hey, maybe 30% of customers just won't get that cash back?
Yeah, so it's similar to the numbers that you outlined. Our brands generally see 50 cents on the dollar saved with discounting with cashback as opposed to coupon codes. So that's like the headline number, but it's not just the cost savings, but it's the GMV increase. We typically see about 15% more sales when using cashback compared to some previous discounting tool.
That's pretty amazing. I'm excited to get you into other brands. I'm sure there's a lot of opportunity each brand has to keep their cash. And so you mentioned your app implementation seems to be super easy to implement. Can get up and running, you said about maybe 20 minutes or even shorter, right? The hard part, and you may have touched on this before, but the hard part seems to be setting up workflows for those non-buyers to redeem the cashback offers or things like that. It may not even be that difficult, right? So in general, how do you, after brands are listening about implementing your app, how would you advise brands to run a really, truly successful test? Again, you touched on it a little bit, But how do you advise them to, they don't have an agency, let's say, they need to do it themselves. How easy would it be to set up those workflows and next steps?
Sure. The brands are welcome to just install the app on the Shopify App Store. As part of that, it can include an onboarding call with us if they want to do it independently. It's just logging into Klaviyo or Attentive and doing an A/B test. That's one of the use cases. You're, of course, welcome to use it right away with influencers, with affiliates, with ads, with a random email campaign of your own, not a systematic one like a welcome series. The challenge with those is in statistics, it's hard to measure the difference of differences, right? In e-commerce, everything changes so quickly that outside of an A/B test, it's hard to really be able to measure and to build that trust. Brands are welcome to do it in whatever way they want, but the A/B test is the best way to get started. And brands are oftentimes optimizing those email and SMS sequences. And this is no different than what you do otherwise. Instead of saying off, you say back, you update the number, and you swap out the coupon code with the cashback link. That's it. And of course, if you work with an agency like High Flyer, this is what they do for a living, and y'all can set this up super quickly.
Very easy, and definitely seems like the incrementality is there, the structure is there. It's all in front of you. It just needs to be, say. It also seems to be that some brands and some owners need to break free of the mentality of giving discounts and everything, right? How would you overcome that mentality shift of saying, like, you know what? Let's stop with the 10% off. Let's stop with the 50% off. Let's stop with all these kind of percent off and focus more on cashback. Seems like the mentality shift needs to happen, right?
Yeah, look, there's two ways that I'd frame it. One is it's just strictly a more profitable discount type, right? Because discounts work. There's a reason why brands get addicted to them. They have a massive impact on conversion, but they come with a fundamental trade-off of making less profit and of bringing in, like you said, those one-time shoppers. This is discounting without those trade-offs.
Huge. Just a mindset shift is great alone. And again, it comes down to building that better customer relationship. And this is one of the ways to do it. So I can personally think of a ton of brands that right off the top of my head that I think would be a good fit for this. For those that are listening to this right now, what are the exact next steps our listeners could take as a key takeaway? Get up and running before the holiday season. What should they be doing right now?
You're welcome to check out the site, getfondue.com. You're welcome to find Fondue Cashback in the App Store. You're welcome to email me, Oren, O-R-E-N, at getfondue.com. Or, if you're a High Flyer client, they can just speak to you.
Come to me for sure. That's always good. I'm glad to share any referrals we have with Fondue. I think they're just a great app. And again, because considering I've actually been on the retail side, I've been on the marketing side as well. Like Oren, you've got a great background in that type of stuff. I could tell you, just breaking free of discounts will make the world of difference. At the end of the day, some brands, some marketers may fear that risk to their attribution, but I guarantee you, I think the ownership will be very happy overseeing an increase in profitability.
Yeah, profitable discounting is a thing. You no longer have to do trade-offs with leaky coupon codes.
Exactly it. Break free. That's the point of the holiday season. If there's one thing you learned out of this holiday season now, break free of the trends, break free of what you've been doing in the past, try something new, and that is a differentiator during the holiday season.
Totally.
So thank you so much for joining me, Oren. This has been really great. I'm excited to take next step with you on a couple of brands we're already discussing, and it's just great to see another form of technology that is kind of changing the game, changing the way brands are thinking, helping them create better, more profitable, predictable, sustainable revenue streams from their customers, turning one-time buyers into lifetime buyers. Really excited to have you here, Oren. I hope this was helpful for you. Hopefully this is great to get the word out. Thank you so much for joining our Ecom 80/20 podcast. We will see you next time.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Ecom 80/20 podcast. If you enjoyed this show, please make sure to subscribe and follow us on social at High Flyer Digital for daily tips and videos. To put this week's strategy into action and move your brand forward, go to highflyerdigital.com/book and schedule a free 15-minute chat with our experts. If you book today, you'll even get a free digital copy of our 330-page email and SMS playbook to get you started. Let's partner together to compete and win at e-commerce. Your brand is worth it. Until next week, this is Isaac Hyman, wishing you a successful and profitable week.